Hello again. So, as I've been playing in the garden here today, it's my December Christmas vacation from work, so what better way to spend your vacation other than digging in the garden? But one of the things that, as I'm just kind of sitting here in the kind of cool, chilly, wet December North Texas air, one of the things that I think I'll try to do, and maybe you've done some of this already in your garden, but trying to combine two things that are kind of hobbies for me: home automation and gardening. Is there a way to marry the two together? And I think with the advent of Alexa and the Echo and all this good stuff now, I think there probably is some ways, and I'll share with you maybe what is some of the first thing. Last year, because I got tired of hand watering, there's way too much in the garden to hand water, especially with my work, and I travel and I can't get there to do it, and I can't burden the family to do it all the time too, and to remember. Basically, I put in a Melnor Aqua sprinkler system. So basically what that does is it's Wi-Fi enabled, and you set up schedules and you just hook up your tubing and it will water for you on a schedule, so you don't have to. So let me kind of show you what I got here a little bit. Alright, just turning the camera around. It's kind of a mess right now as I convert from containers and put in these raised beds, so it's just a big mess. And again, when you watch these garden videos on TV or on YouTube, they seem to strip out all the mess and they show you these pristine gardens, but I'm going to show you the mess because it's part of it, right? So anyways, what is the Melnor system? As I come over here, I cover it up just to keep the sun out of it. Texas sun will bake things. But the Melnor Aqua timers, you can see here, I basically got two of them. And there's 4 ports on each one. And if you notice here, I basically hooked up your regular, poly tubing and then sent it all over the garden. And so the cool thing about this is that it's kind of like low investment. And what I mean low investment is, I put this cover back on. What I mean by low investment is that you don't have to have an in-ground sprinkler system. You don't have to have, a lot of money invested in that type of equipment. Now, granted, you want to, clean it up here as I pulled it all back from this area. But if you invest into the poly tubing, which is pretty cheap, and some of the connectors, the elbow connectors and the joiners, and you can kind of set up different zones in your garden here and send it to the whole backyard. So what I did to keep it out of foot, though, is I buried it just a little bit underground so I wouldn't trip over it, the grass cutters wouldn't cut it and stuff like that. But once I kind of got it in its zone, then it's free to stay above ground because, there's nothing going to be back here that cuts it or anything like that. And then at that point, you just put your attachments in there, be it, the different 1 gallon to 5 gallon to sprayers and soakers, any kind of nozzle that you want for whatever type of gardening you're doing. So anyways, the cool thing about the Melnor is that now it works with Alexa. So from a home automation standpoint, you could say, Alexa, water the back fence for 5 minutes, and it will turn it on automatically. It has the skills and the connectors in the back and in the cloud and the internet. So since I just got Alexa, and a lot of you probably are getting those for Christmas because they're all on sale, you might want to find ways of integrating it into your home garden. So the Melnor is the first thing that I see that works for the garden. Now, what else might we do for home automation and the garden? Well, let's talk about that. Alright, so what else could we do besides the Melnor? The Melnor's pretty good. On one Wi-Fi unit, because there's a unit in the house that talks to the Melnor out here, 2 units will fit on one Wi-Fi unit. So if you bought like Melnor for the front yard or something like that, you have to buy another Wi-Fi unit and stuff like that. But it's still a pretty cheap cost when you think of laying an underground sprinkler system and trying to do that. Way more expensive. So this works pretty well. There's another product out there that kind of is like the Milnor. It's the Antelco, which it's kind of, I guess, a dumb connector in the sense that it's more like a regular sprinkler, underground sprinkler distribution valves. It's in a little box. There's 4 valves to that box. But then you could hook that up to like a ratio or one of those newer internet timers. So if you put a couple of those strategically in your area and then send the wires all to the garage to like your ratio, that might be a way of doing it too. So if you don't have a sprinkler system, the Milnor might be a good supplement or just as a permanent system. If you do have a sprinkler system, you could then convert some of your zones to gardening zones, and then your timer could be a ratio or something like that. So those are the first 2 home automation things that I'm thinking that you could use, and you could do it as a combination as well. But what else is out there that we could connect? One of the things that I was thinking of is thermometers and temperatures. Like outdoors here right now, it might be 50 degrees. But when you look at the hoop house, what's the temperature in there? And this is new for me. I've never put my sensitive plants in the hoop house. So it's supposed to be warmer in there and be, you know, so many degrees higher in temperature than the surrounding air. So will my plants survive in there? I don't know. But it would be nice to know what the temperature is there, because then I could maybe do something if I notice it's getting too cold in there. So I think from a high-tech standpoint, we need something that has remote thermometers that could connect to Alexa or something like that. So I could say, Alexa, what's the temperature of the hoop house? Or Alexa, what's the temperature of the outdoors on this side of the house? Or Alexa, what's the temperature of maybe another hoop house I put in? But I think I'm going to have to investigate in that. If you've already found something that works like that, just put something in the comments below or reply below, and I'll start looking into that. But I think thermometers might be helpful. Also, I think with some of the home automation tools, one of the things I've played with for a while is a controller software, and there's lots of those out there now. I've used HomeSeer at homeseer.com, HOMESEER.com. They make a software solution of which there's different plugins that you can do. They have software you can run on your laptop or something like that, and then do the plugins. So the cool thing, I guess, would be some combination of scripting, which I don't think Alexa has as much of some of these tools that have been out here longer. But something that says, if the hoop house is 90 degrees, send me a message so I can come out and open it up a little bit. Or if the temperature, as I put my hand over the camera, if the temperature is 110, turn on the Milnor for an extra 5 minutes to water and keep things moist. I think combinations of if-then statements, you know, and then connecting all the pieces, that might be some sort of internet-enabled gardening thing that we could have here to make our lives easier. The other thing would be the soil condition. You know, they sell those sensors that you put in the dirt. It says the soil's too dry, the soil's too acidic. You know what? I don't know if there are good ones out there. I don't know how good those are. I'm thinking that they're not exact science yet. And, you know, you got people talking about it, you know, it's muddy and it still says it's dry and stuff like that. So I don't think there's good tools of those that are 100% reliable and effective, but that would be something that would be nice to say, hey, the ground out here is, you know, bone dry, so turn it on an extra 5 minutes or something like that. That would be handy from our gardening standpoint. I guess cameras would be easy enough though, wouldn't it? So as I travel for work and I'm away, if I can get a visual of the garden, if it looks a little dry, then I know that one, your internet went down, the Milnor batteries turned off, or who knows what, because you never know when your internet and your stuff breaks and now your garden ain't getting watered. So if you had a camera that says, hey, things look a little brown, or you don't notice the water on, you know, you could then call the family and say, get out there with your hands and water to save the garden. We had that happen this summer where one of the main valves got turned off, and when I got home, things were a little bit crispy, and it's like, uh-oh, what happened? Who turned it off? And of course, nobody knows who turned it off. It was an accident. It was no big deal, and it really didn't kill anything because it wasn't off that long. But I guess that's one of the things that, you know, we kind of need to do as gardeners back here and doing internet-enabled things, is you know, tell us, is it watering, is it not? So cameras would be pretty cool to kind of remote watch the garden. And then whatever eats the things in the middle of the night, whatever eats my watermelons, which I know it was the damn squirrels this year, but getting those infrared cameras out there with the motion, find the animals who might be partaking in your garden. That might be one of the things that we guard against. But there has to be some other things that Alexa and all these tools can do for us in this internet age, in the home automation age. So I guess it's one of the things that I'll be looking into more and more for the coming gardening season. That's what the winter's for, is to sit and plan and prepare, as well as what I'm doing now. So I guess as we go through this journey, for all the home gardeners out there, be thinking of that type of stuff, and let me know what you've done, what creative things you've made, and together we'll share and learn, and hopefully at the end of it have successful gardens. Talk to you later.